Hey everyone, welcome to an episode of the Diamond Diaries, a podcast about women in baseball, hosted by a woman in baseball, yours truly, Chelsea Raymer. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome to, I guess, the Diamond Diaries podcast.
Yeah, I
I
love
think I
that.
remember in Salem, it was you who encouraged me to do the blog, and so
Yep,
now
yep.
we're trying a podcast.
I love it. I love to see your creative juices flowing. That's awesome.
So I know I've had the privilege of getting to know you since I did work in Salem as an intern back in 2022, but I wanted to bring you on just like talk about all the amazing things that you do so everyone else can know about them.
Oh, thank you so much.
But just to start with you, could you tell me a little bit about where you're from and how sports were part of your life before working in the sports industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Southwest Virginia, born and raised. Went to school, graduated from Radford University. Sports has always been a part of my life. Grew up playing multiple sports through high school. Watched baseball with my dad growing up. He was always a diehard Cardinals fan. I tended to lean towards the Braves. But that was kind of our time to bond together. I'm an only child. He was a single father, and that's kind of what brought us together. And we have just really great memories of sports in general. He would come to my basketball games and track meets and volleyball tournaments. And I don't know, it brought so much joy to my life that later down the road, I had an opportunity to get into the sports industry and immediately jumped at it.
So you're the assistant general manager slash vice president of ticket sales and service for the Salem Ridgeacs, so the low A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. Can you kind of take me through the responsibilities of your role and how that differs in season versus off season?
Yeah, for sure. So we always say, especially at single A, that titles really don't mean anything, and that is very true because a lot of the things that I do, our interns do. We're really one team, one goal, and everyone's here to make a difference and make sure that this business is successful. But I think, for the foundation of it, my primary responsibilities would include overseeing our sales staff, making sure that we're hitting our budget. Um, Overseeing our team store, our marketing efforts, our production team, our social media team, which again, when I say team, there's, 15 full-time staff members. So we're all one team. But really just making sure that the business, is thriving and looking for innovative, creative ways to, stand out here in Salem and in the Roanoke Valley, but also within the minor league baseball landscape.
Yeah, is there any like I know you said you wear a lot of hats, any job that's been like super crazy that people just like wouldn't believe like you have to work in minor league ball to be like, "Oh yeah, I've been there."
Oh, um, let's see. Well, back before social media was as big as it is now, we would go door to door selling tickets back in the day.
Wow.
Um, so again, that was, 10, 15 years ago. But I mean, just that day-to-day grind, we don't really think of it as work, right, when we're in it. But tarp pulls, obviously, cleaning the ballpark, accepting deliveries. I mean, all of those just general operations where titles just don't mean a thing, and it's all hands on deck all the time. But that's what makes it fun and exciting.
So I want to talk about your path into sports a little bit because I know you said you went to Radford, but you got a degree in English. So kind of what was the idea to, how did you choose Radford and how did you decide to study English?
So, always passionate about communications. Didn't really appreciate it until much later in my childhood. The English route kind of came to be. I knew that it was an opportunity for me at the time, and I always talk to high school students about this now. At the time, I didn't really know what the options were to go into the sports industry. It was either you played or you coached, and that was it. Um, and after I knew I wasn't going to play, I was like, okay, well, I'll go teach and coach, like the American dream. And when so obviously I had this passion for literature and writing, and I was like, okay, well, English that's perfect. And I have a pretty non-traditional route into the sports industry. And that English degree really gave me I guess the skill set for communication specifically, and I kind of gained this passion for the marketing and sales side of it naturally. Love meeting people, love hearing people's stories, love connecting with people, and more importantly, love sharing like our passion for sports with the community. And long story short, I kind of quickly realized post graduation that teaching may not be where my passion was lying. And then I had this opportunity, a great opportunity from a mentor of mine here locally, David Hagan. He purchased Calfee Park in Pulaski, and who used to home the Mariners rookie affiliate at that time. And I had an opportunity to get into minor league baseball at that time, and I just took that chance. I knew nothing about it. I just knew that the passion was there, my eagerness to learn and to understand the industry, and I just fell in love with it. And here we are, 13 years later, and I went from Mariners to Yankees to Red Sox.
That's awesome. So I saw before you did get into minor league baseball, you did marketing and PR for a motor company, and then you went, did you go right into being GM of Pulaski?
So
How
I had kind of a little bit of a buffer year
okay.
with like handling the marketing and then rolled into the GM position at the rookie league level for the Yankees. And, now rookie league, I say we have 15 full-time staff members and everyone wears, the same hat. At a rookie level, it's like 1.5 to 2 full-time staff members. So quite literally every aspect of the business was handled, which was really, really great and gave me the foundation to kind of find my pathway or my passion and that, sales, marketing, merchandising, special events. That's really kind of where my passion lied and had the opportunity in Salem and, kind of jumped to it.
How was that transition though, going from more of that traditional maybe 9 to 5 job to then like going right into minor league baseball where it's obviously very different?
Yeah, well, with the grassroots marketing, actually, it was a lot of special events. I found myself at, a variety of things throughout the community or within Southwest Virginia. So those hours were kind of obscure to start with, perhaps not the volume that they are in minor league baseball. But I just love staying busy. I love being, present within the community or with our fans. And, my children get to grow up here. So for me, it doesn't feel the hours on paper look overwhelming. It just doesn't feel that way because we love to be here.
Yeah. Do you remember your first game as GM? Like, what was that like?
That one was long.
Yeah.
That one was long. I mean, we're pulling, 13 to 16 hour shifts there. And it was I really can't put that into words because it was just such a wonderful thing to be a part of. Specifically back in, my initial years in baseball with the Pulaski Yankees, we got to be part of this just incredible energy in that town. David Hagan invested so much money and passion into that ballpark to keep affiliated ball in Pulaski at the time, but also just to provide this wonderful fan experience. So it wasn't just, hey, it's my first day, as GM in a minor league club, but it's, oh my goodness, I get to be a part of this incredible experience for so many community members. And yeah, it was really great. And I think it probably fueled my passion for it.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts of like imposter syndrome? That's something I feel like is common among women in sports where it's like, oh my gosh, like, can I do this even though you're very qualified to do it? Is that ever something that kind of came over you when you were doing that?
I talk about this frequently. I don't know that I can identify a time when I felt that way because, and a lot of that probably is um, because my dad really empowered me growing up, to whatever it is you want to do it. You don't have to prove anybody right or wrong. But also, I've just really been fortunate to surround myself with management and with leaders that have just empowered me and have identified my skill sets and let me learn from mistakes and kind of figure out my way through. And so, no, I don't want to say that I haven't had to like pinch myself a couple times and said like, oh wow, I get to be a part of this really great industry that is, now there's so many wonderful females in the industry. But I've been fortunate that I've just been present in all of it and knew that, every pathway that I was presented was deserved and it was just a new learning experience.
I saw you won as a Woman of the Year for the Appalachian League. How did that feel when you were given that award? Is that something you were expecting or how did
Um,
that feel?
Not necessarily expecting. There weren't a lot of us in the Appy League at the time, so expecting or deserving, I certainly didn't feel that way. But even just from then till now, there's so many more females in the industry, which I love that, because I think that we bring so much to the table. But also our collaboration together within the workforce just has created this really great product. Minor League Baseball, our ownership group, our leadership team here empowers us regardless, and is, to take advantage of our skill sets and what we can bring. For, that award specifically, that was really great and I was really honored, and it's, I have it sitting right back here, but um, I didn't really think of it as that way. I was more interested in the executive of the year, not necessarily just the female executive of the year. So I think it may have been the following year that I got executive of the year, which that was like very exciting because I felt like, you know, oh, we're all kind of on the same playing field here. Everyone's working to make their ballpark successful. So that one probably built my confidence quite a bit within the industry. So yeah, it was really great receiving the Happy Lead Female Award, but that next one was a little bit sweeter.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I saw after you did about 4 seasons in Pulaski, you did go back to more of a traditional role with the city before getting into Salem. Can you talk a little bit about like maybe what led to you taking on that role?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ultimately, it came down to my son was born in 2016. I have two children. One, my daughter's about to turn 15. My son just turned 9. So at the time, he was, we were getting ready to have our second child, and I just kind of had a chapter in my life where I took a step back and wanted to make sure, am I at the right place at the right time? Am I being present with my kids? Motherhood is by far the most important thing to me. It's also made me a better leader here and vice versa. I've learned so much from the people here, but also my kids have taught me so much, like patience and empathy. And so there's a lot of cross collaboration and credit that goes to both sides. So ultimately, that decision was what's best for my family at this point. And, my son was born in, let's see, my last year in baseball. I think we made it to playoffs the first week in September, and then he came along September 22nd. So that was a very interesting season in baseball with tarp pulls and hot days and weather. But I had an opportunity to get into local government, and I have a lot of great childhood memories, and certainly within my time at Radford University with the city of Radford. And there was an opportunity to go into economic development, which still allowed me to have this sales, marketing, communication, storytelling opportunity, which is my favorite. And I took that opportunity, stepped away from baseball, did go back to my 8 to 5 Monday through Friday for a little bit. Was there for about a year, and it was wonderful. I have nothing but wonderful things to say about that community. It's so sweet. And but I felt like maybe there was something missing. And sometimes you just have to take those opportunities, or chapters present themselves where you just, you find that maybe it's not always greener on the other side, right? And also just helps you maybe gather some clarity on what's most important to you. And that was being at the ballpark. Like I know it seems really silly and really simple, but this place just brings me so much joy, and I'm a better mom because of it. And now they get to be raised here at the ballpark, and it's just beautiful.
What advice would you have for women working in sports who think they might want to have kids but are kind of like having trouble grasping how it might all work? I know you said motherhood's, the best job, and I was wondering how you kind of balance all of that.
Oh, I wish there was like a recipe. And there are seasons, there's highs and lows, and I think navigating the guilt is probably the hardest part, and it's kind of hard to put that into words, but finding myself here, on a game day at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, thinking, oh, what are the kids doing? But once you get past that and you understand that it's so much more valuable for them to see the passion that I have here, or the eagerness I have to come to work. They don't have to watch their mom get ready for work and complain, or be just down and out. They get to see that I have this energy and excitement, and that has fueled them to be more creative and thoughtful about what they want to do in their future. So, I think that's just the biggest part, is not being too hard on yourself. We're all trying to get through life one way or the other. Also, you have to have a great support system, right? Like, if I did not, my dad specifically, my kids have really great grandparents that are very, very active in their lives, very present, and couldn't do it without them. They help with the kids, and ultimately help support my career. And again, in return, we just have, they get to come to the ballpark and see how wonderful it is here. And then I get to go home and kind of shut work off a little bit and be present with them.
Oh, awesome. So I want to kind of talk about a little bit the Salem Ridgeax with the rebrand. So I'm so curious. I love the logo and everything. I think he is so cute. How did that kind of come to be once you guys knew you had to rebrand? Did you guys get to pick as a staff, or was it like something where they said, "Okay, you are now the Salem Ridgeax"? How did that
Oh
happen?
yeah, no, it was a very long, lengthy process, and it's
Yeah.
probably been going on for about a year and a half. I mean, conversations started 2 years ago, but the process has been quite lengthy. And we we were very committed to making sure that this brand was representative of our community in a very fun, out of the box, unique, tongue-in-cheek way. We didn't want the brand to be obvious, and that's what minor league baseball is, right? It's fun, but it's a little bit weird. So how do we kind of encapsulate all of that while, recognizing the beauty of the Blue Ridge Mountains, our relationship with Boston, and obviously this wonderful Salem community. So it all started with getting staff feedback. Like that's kind of where we started. Our people here, boots on the grounds that are here day in, day out, hour after hour, what was most important to them. So we surveyed our staff, asked what inspired them, what would they like to see the direction of the brand go, not specifically, hey, what do you want? Because the sky was the limit. Everything was on the table, from colors to themes to the name. We kept Salem because that's very important to where we are, but some people wanted to see more of a regional connection, so we tied that in with the Blue Ridge with Ridge Yaks later on. So after we got that initial feedback, we then, we started putting some feelers out within the community on social media through some surveys, ask similar questions. What inspires them most? What are they most proud of this region? If you were to tell someone about Salem or about the Roanoke Valley or the Blue Ridge Mountains, what would you say? And then we hosted a town hall, a stakeholder season ticket member town hall, where we presented kind of what minor league baseball is, because a lot of times there are people who follow it, and then there are people who are just fortunate and to have affiliated ball within their community, and that's okay. So we didn't just ask for feedback, we used that as an educational moment to say, look at all of these teams, look at the directions they've gone. There's, some more traditional routes, there's some fun play on words, there's, more recent rebrands like Rome Emperors. Obviously, there's no Emperor Penguins in Rome, Georgia, but they kind of went that way. So we use that opportunity to kind of educate the community at the same time while kind of absorbing all of the things that were important to them. So once we had all of that cross collaboration, we kind of bucketed all of the reoccurring themes that we were hearing. A lot of Blue Ridge Mountains. They love the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's our backdrop. Our ballpark has been rated the best backdrop in minor league baseball. That was number one. The other bucket was outdoor recreation, kayaking, biking, running, hiking, the Appalachian Trail, etc. And then that third one was that just like blue collar spirit, the grit behind our community. And we then took all of that information and we passed it along to the branding agency that we worked with, CLC or Learfield Creative. And with that, they then put together a lot of concepts and we kind of narrowed those down to a few things. And ultimately, that is what became the Salem Ridge Yaks.
How was the big kind of party you guys threw to unveil the logo? All the pictures looked amazing, but how was it to experience that with the community?
Oh, it was really, really great. So, I mean, the lift that we had with the rebrand itself was one piece, and then it was this event planning of this great launch party was another piece. We hosted over 2,000 people here at the ballpark. We wanted it to be a celebration because that's truly what this brand is. It was a collective effort of this feedback from the community, and it's their brand. We're already seeing incredible success nationally. People are buying it from all over, especially locally. We're seeing it out and about the community. There's certainly been a lot of buzz around it. It's a conversation starter. That's what it's supposed to be. Supposed to be weird, quirky. Oh, what is that? Tell me more. That's exactly what we want. So the enthusiasm behind it has been really great. The launch party was wonderful. We had Zach Kelly in attendance. He's from Roanoke, so that was really nice. We had Virginia Tech former defense coordinator Bud Foster in attendance. We made sure it was very strategic who we had here and who was representing the brand. Bud, he's known for Virginia Tech football, but his real passion is actually baseball. So it was fun to kind of share that with the community. We also had Brett Sharp, who is a very well-known radio host here locally. He and Melissa Gayona, who's a very well-known news anchor here locally, they were MCs and they were so wonderful. They brought so much energy, but they're also just very known in this area. And we really, really wanted to make sure that we had the right people representing our area. So that was great. We had food trucks, we had tons of community organizations and businesses, kayaking demos, rock wall climbing, face painting, all of the things that kind of go into this story that we're telling. A lot of conservation information. That's something that's really important to us through this brand. Our mascot, Mac. He's named after McAfee Knob, the most photographed point on the Appalachian Trail. So there's just a lot of great storylines and ways that we can take this brand.
Oh, that's awesome. And I know with change, there's always some people that are really hesitant about it or maybe aren't fully on board to start with. How did you guys kind of deal with if, any backlash that was given because of the rebrand?
Yep. I mean, the biggest thing was just kind of preparing our staff for that and us having internal conversations, making sure that we're in the right headspace. There was a lot of work that went into this from every person in this building. And we wanted to make sure that they stayed passionate about it and understood that it's nothing personal and they're all proud of the brand and so they're great advocates for this business. And so navigating some of the naysayers, we aren't surprised that we see this with every single rebrand. If you go look at any of the, last 5 to 10 rebrands, if you look at perhaps their social media, you'll see kind of similar conversations because change is hard. It is hard, and people are passionate about different things, and we understand that, but we feel really, really confident in this brand that there is a piece of something for everybody. And
Hmm.
if you dissect the brand just a little bit further, we've got those colors, the blue with the Blue Ridge Mountains, a splash of red for the Boston affiliation. The gold is an ode to the city of Salem seal and the sunsets here at the ballpark. The word marks are outfitter style, like national park signage. Obviously, the yak may not be native to here. That seems to be the similar conversation that we're seeing. But what a cool animal. Like, and there's no
He's
yaks within the
cute. I
sports
think he's so
industry.
cute.
He's so fun. And he's a yak in a kayak, which, can be short for yak. And yak is a slang word, a traditional slang word for home run. So there's just like a lot of these little elements pulled into it. We kept Salem for the city of Salem, Ridge for the Blue Ridge Mountains. And in some of our logos, you'll see a star that's from the Roanoke Star. So it pulls in the Roanoke Valley. So, once people hear the story, they tend to come around to it. And with time, we feel very confident that this is a brand that people can really connect with. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
Yeah, no, I think Mac is very cute. I think he's so cute. I saw all these pictures and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to get like a stuffed animal or
Oh
something.
yeah, we've got some
He's
custom
so
plushies coming
cute.
in.
He's so cute.
Thank you.
But going off kind of the challenges, as a staff with the rebrand, what would you say, just in general, being a woman in sports, what is the biggest challenge you have faced?
Um, I mean, not to go back to parenthood, but balancing parenthood can be very, very challenging. And also, navigating, I've never felt, unworthy of being in this position. I've never felt belittled. But sometimes you'll cross paths with people who perhaps doubt you.
Mhm.
Whether it be your intelligence of baseball or you know, the hours we put in here or, we could do things better, etc. Um, but it's really just like knowing your worth and, settling into your confidence of where you're supposed to be and why. And you quickly realize that like those, that just isn't representative of who we are. And the relationships that we have with our other fans are. I mean, there are several people who come here because of the relationships that we've established. So just making sure that you don't doubt yourself. I mean, so that's probably the challenge, the biggest challenge is just kind of keeping your head up and staying confident when you're exhausted through a homestand.
On the other side, what would you say is the most rewarding aspect of working in baseball?
I know it's so very repetitive, but I mean, it's definitely the people. I mean, it's so cool to see people. I mean, the fans, certainly our season ticket members are like family. Our corporate partners are like friends. They are here at the ballpark all the time. We get to be the brightest part in so many people's days. We don't know what everyone's going through from day to day. We're all trying to survive, but we all get to come together collectively in this beautiful ballpark and spend time together, and that's just so beautiful. But also, more importantly, probably is the people who work here, who, whether you're here for a season or whether you're here for 5 years and you go to your next opportunity, the connections that we make. I mean, it really is like family here. And then we get to follow each other. We have these, like, the network is just incredible. We keep up with one another. We get to see each other grow, and it's so wonderful. I mean, you came through here. It's so great to keep up with the things that you're doing in Portland.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put in words, but that's just such a great thing.
Yeah, kind of going away from baseball, something I know is a really big part of your story that you've been interviewed about, I'm sure countless times, is that you became a living organ donor in 2023. So you gave a pediatric patient part of your liver. What kind of motivated you to make that decision? And then what was it like having the support of not only your family, but also your baseball family?
Yeah, I definitely couldn't have done it without my family or working in this industry. From our leadership here to our ownership group, giving me the time off to do this pretty life-changing event. Um, what inspired me about this, it kind of goes back years and years ago, but my mom passed away at age 46 from liver cirrhosis, and I've always felt called to, remember her in a bigger way. I wasn't really sure what that was. I knew the time would come when that would present itself, and um, about 4 or 5 years ago, my godfather was placed on the transplant list for a liver donor. And that was kind of my sign. Oh, this is it. Like, this is my moment. I wanted to be a part of that healing journey for him. Long story short, went through the process and wasn't a match for my godfather. But through all of the testing and the information, my surgery was at UVA. I was so impressed by their program there, by their doctors, by the information. I mean, just an unbelievable experience. After I found out I wasn't a match, and understanding the need for donation, specifically living donation, I just felt very called. And I know that seems kind of silly, but it just felt like the right place. I was at the right place at the right time. And I was able to, kind of move forward and called my donor advocate and told her that, keep me in mind, put me on the list if I have a match. It didn't need to be with anyone that I knew. And fast forward, I got a phone call and said that I had matched with a pediatric patient and that my surgery would be in September, right after the season. And they worked around my schedule, and the rest is kind of history. It was an incredible experience, and I'm told that my recipient is thriving, and that's so wonderful. But, the inspiration was there certainly from my mom. The eagerness to go through with it relied a lot on my, comfort level with UVA, but also really to show my kids empathy and how important it is to do well for others, and that we have to kind of take care of one another in this world. So yeah, it was wonderful.
No, that's amazing. I know I've read a few articles about it, and I just thought it was amazing. I didn't even know you could be a living organ donor. To me, it was just, I put on my license that I'm an organ donor, so I thought it was, oh, if I passed away and then someone, it could benefit someone else. But I want to talk about the importance of spreading awareness because now I know it definitely inspired me. It might inspire someone else. So do you talk about this a lot or kind of share, like go speak about it?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Initially, it was really just to kind of maybe connect with my mom initially. Maybe that was the driving force. And then once I realized just how incredible this process is, and just learning so much about it and the need for it and the importance, I wasn't sure how outspoken I was going to be about it. But then, afterwards, after I was healed, I now feel very called to talk about it. I don't mind talking about it at all. I want people to hear more about it. I encourage people to go read up on it. It's really not as bad as it sounds. And there, again, there's just such a gap in demand. for living donors, and it's a much more successful route um, for transplant. So yeah, I it's nice that I now can kind of be an advocate through that process. I've had several conversations with people who have thought about, you know, trying to match with someone, whether it's someone in their family or, possibly and anonymously, and would love to chat with anyone if they have any questions about it.
Oh my gosh, no, that's amazing. I love it.
Thanks.
Kind of one of my last questions, just overall, whether it could be about any aspect that you've gone through, what advice would you have for a woman who wants to be in your shoes one day, whether it's, working in sports or maybe balancing being a mom and working in sports or just any life advice you have?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just we're all on the same playing field. We're all trying to grow personally and emotionally and spiritually. And you're not in it alone ever. And you don't really have to prove anything to anyone but yourself. And certainly don't, consume yourself with, how do I prove myself better than the next thing? Or, how do I always stand out? Like you're put in the work and you will be recognized eventually. And take opportunities. They're going to be some outlandish ones, but you learn so much from those things, and that's what we always tell our interns here, regardless of what they're coming into, whether it's sales or food and beverage or promo. You don't say no to an opportunity. You may find that you're very talented in one direction that you didn't even know about. So please just stay open to those opportunities.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much. That's really
Yeah, thank you, Chelsea.
Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll chat again soon. XOXO, Chelsea.